Whitley Beer.
Whitley Beer, like, hello and welcome to another episode of Shirts in Time, like. I'm with me mate Dan. How you doing, like?
What, lad? A proper Gatsby, like.
We're not doing it all the way through, I can't be asked. We're going to get loads of Geordie people saying, Geordie's now going, oh, that wasn't a Geordie accent, that's more Mattam, that, like.
So glow. No, we've done the Irish. I think we've done the Welsh. Last week we chinned off all the Scots. This week we're working our way down from north of the border. We've pinned off the Geordies. Next week, Carlisle. You guys are getting it next week.
We'll jump straight in, mate. I've got two, not even unboxings, not unbaggings, not hangings, just two shirt show-offs.
I'm excited, mate. And what packaging is there?
No
packaging. You just
in before. Manchester United lifestyle tee, based on the third shirt, basically. Down, I think it was 20 quid, 25 quid, down from 70 quid. Shout out kit bag. But look at that, love it.
They do come with some good deals this time of year, mate.
Yeah.
They are one of the better ones for the current season pricing. If CFS aren't doing a sale, and I like that, mate. Very crisp, very crisp. That lovely white pattern for those on Spotify. Lovely white pattern with a bit of jacquard in it. White Adidas.
Yeah, lovely jacquard, and then the lovely red rose detailing in it as well. And obviously the not the actual United crest, the devil emblem. Love that. Love that. And then what day are we now? Monday 25th. Not the weekend. Well, whenever United play Liverpool in the FA Cup, I was there, as we discussed on last week's episode. And then as I was in the car on the way home, this bad boy was down to 40 quid.
Oh, that's good.
Audio listeners, the Manchester United 23-24 home shirt, heat ready spec. Obviously, we've said it many times on here, wait for the sales. This is 80-90 quid at the start of the season, 40 quid in March, and it's a beauty.
Is that so? That's the top spec, isn't it? Did you say heat ready?
Heat ready, yeah. Obviously not like as we discussed last week as well, the amount of different specs there is on a shirt. Where the fuck am I aiming this? I can't fucking. My eyes are all wonky. There we are.
There you go, mate. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously there's player specs, but that is heat ready. Probably not going to get Ahmad's name on it because obviously my history with name sets. So I might get the FA Cup patches added to it if we win the FA Cup, that is.
Can you let me know what play you do get so I can do a right deep dive into their Twitter history for possible like racist or homophobic tweets? Is that all right?
I'm even scared to get my own name on the back of a shirt just in case something comes up.
I think that's very, very smart. This is my 15th podcast, and I'm now known as Julio Banguelo, and I'm a Bolivian national. In case anyone wants to ask.
Who's 22 years old, just straight out the youth team.
Right, if a 22-year-old Ghanaian, maybe, just thinking sort of how that sort of date of birth ruling works. Mate, I also have I have a full D bagging. Mine comes in a bag. This is thanks to Vintage Football 90s. He does some great stuff, and he just popped up and he did the. Don't worry, mate. Just pay me on payday. If you want it now, I'm going down the post office tomorrow. So I got roper doped a little bit, but
right, okay.
I've broken a bit of a kit rule because it's not a kit I've been super into, and then I don't know, when it just catches your eye, and you're like, oh, a bit of bit of that, and it is.
Listeners. Bit of oof, like.
It's good. Oof. So this would be a genuine full-on reaction to the kit. I'm mostly got done with the jacquard, but it is the Roma 96, 97, I believe. As I say that with a screechy voice of self-doubt. Just lovely though. Screen printed. Got the old what's the old word they always use for the wolf in Italy? Can't remember. Lepetto, I believe it is.
I think so, yeah. It rings a bell. Lepetto, one of the two.
It'll do. Wolfie, we'll call him from now on. Old Wolfie. Ginger Wolf.
Darts player on the front of the Roma shirt.
Wolf Hucknall. Yeah, it's just lovely, mate. I just thought, you know what, it's really cool. It's got another big old gigantic AS Roma Wolf on there, but it was just a long sleeve and it was in my size in large, so it was just a no-brainer. I just thought, fuck it, I'll get it. So cheers, thank you for that, Vintage United. He's very happy, lovely.
Love that.
Little cuffs, orange
Cuff.
and granita cuffs as well. So yeah, very happy, very happy. Oh, yes, good. And it's got the same print that goes through the shirt from the year before with the lace-up collar, but I do want that in the button-up. That'll be later on. But yeah, this is a nice compromise. Happy with that. Right then, what's the crack then, Jake? What's the plan? What are we doing?
Well, I think you've probably done it on purpose, but England shirt tailored by Umbro. Is that the tailored by Umbro range?
It is indeed. It is indeed for me the best of the bunch. This is the 2011 tailored by Umbro. Yeah, this is that. This is said beast.
Have we done? So we've done. Is that the one with the multicolored St George's flag on it?
Yeah, this is I don't know if you know, because not really many people kicked off about it when it came out. It has as I turn my back on the camera, across the entire back has different coloured St George's crosses.
Yeah.
All across the back.
So we've done Geordie accent. So now we'll do.
Gammons.
Where would you say? Where would you say? Yeah. What would you say their accent is though? Like Brexit lot.
Brexit. God, that's a tough one. It's either like I reckon a South Yorkshire, very, rough, very rough, thick South Yorkshire to Talksport building advert Cockney.
Is that they fucking multicolored flags on the back of that fucking shirt?
Is that multicolored flags on the back of that shirt? I don't know, Derek, but get 20% off down Builders Merchant with code racist prick, and aye. God, that sounds really good, yeah. Fuck them shirts. Love those planks of wood. That's exactly how I imagine. That's it. There's only two types of Britain. No, that's it. That's it. Mate, what? All this time, I don't know about you, mate, but there's so many views I've got on this. One, I think it's a massive overreaction. Two, I think that Nike are loving it because they knew if they left it a little bit open to interpretation, it could they'll do all the free marketing will be done for them, and then come out and go, "Well, guys, you totally misinterpreted it. You're not had our full point of view." And I believe that Nike said it was to do with the colorway design was to do with the 1966 jacket collars.
Yeah.
And they've sort of played around with, I think the purple that they've developed for the away kit was from the blending of actually the blue and the red, and that's the purple they got. So that's the purple they've used for the kits, and that's it basically. And they just used it on the flag to show unity or something. But I don't know.
It's just like
what a storm in a teacup, isn't it? Mate,
it's just like your Twitter, like escaping Twitter and going into like the mainstream media. Mate, it was chaos.
Mate, it was on the front page of 4 national newspapers. I mean, literally, no prizes for big at bingo here, but no prizes as for which newspaper they was on the front of. But it was just like, is it that slow a news day? You know what I mean? Like, it's just the worst thing about it for me was I actually think the little sticker they put on the back is actually a little bit tacky. I thought they could have actually put some sort of embroidery into the collar itself.
Oh, is it not embroidery?
No, it's just a slapped on bit of something that will probably fall off, like a Samsung sponsor on a Chelsea shirt after 4 years. Just always be the thing that have to get fallen off and get replaced. And it just got blown out of proportion. I don't think Nike ever put it out there as some sort of woke virtue signaling, but I don't know. It's just stupid.
And the midfield dream duo of Jamie O'Hara and Joey Barton, they were leading the fight against it. I mean, what a pair of opinions them to have. Joey Barton, shit footballer, shit coach, and shit human being. Jamie O'Hara, shit footballer.
Well, other than 1 year, you had one great year, and other than that,
one great year. and then I don't know if he's much of a shit human, but he's on his way, isn't he? He's that accent actually though, when he fucking multicolour flag on a fucking shirt.
Yeah, spot on. I think it's like they could if they want to do it, they could have done the band around the back of the collar with the melded colours, left it, then gone into a little like tiny, like a little almost a Swiss cross, they've done this smaller cross on the back, and then it gone into like just on the neckline, just a little tiny delicate little thing that was like somehow like woven into the collar, and I think that just looked a lot better and still done the same thing. And then it just got interpreted like people went, no, it's fine, and they just took the concept of what it supposedly meant too far, and then you had all these people fighting against it for nothing. It was just such crazy, stupid period. And you got like Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer and everyone else jumping on. It's like, chill out, fuck off.
I mean, you do got bigger things to be worrying about.
Yeah, like you remember that economy you fucking anally fucking raped like 4 years ago. Do you remember that? Liz Truss, do you remember her? Yeah, dickhead. Like, you try to get a GP appointment, Rishi. Oh no, you don't need to. You've got enough money in the bank to open your own hospital.
And maybe that's maybe that's the only two acceptable specs of shirts then, like that England shirt, one with the flag and one without it on.
Maybe that's it.
So one for the left wing and one for the right wing. There you go.
I'd love to mix up those orders in the mail. Oh, honestly, can you imagine that? Just rewriting I'd say maybe Brighton and sort of Shoreditch postcodes with Coventry.
Coventry and
it'd be like they'd be just like at the deck in a little booth going, now switch the collars over.
Installing like a little a live camera as they open the bag.
Yeah. Saturday night takeaway, Twitter edition. That's what I'd want to see. Brilliant. Yeah, I've never seen anything push people so mental for something that wasn't even there. And Nike, what's funny is Nike just sat back and let it happen. Went, it's got nothing to do with this. When shall we tell them? No, just let's see how this plays out first.
Yeah,
it's good. It's like there are two brothers, and their parents are split up, and both have heard something different about each parent, and they're like, no, let's see how it plays out. We might get a really good Christmas present. And for me and you, as a I don't know about you, your mum and dad might still be together, but for me, I didn't do this to my parents, but I can imagine being sat there watching them and thinking, oh, this present's going to be great. The present I'd want might be like a PlayStation or a Mega Drive back in the day. But for Nike, it's like, let's have loads of fucking attention and money. Yeah. Fucking money!
You know what the worst thing about it is, though, is when people make content or like a video / podcast idea from it. That's what I really can't stand.
Bandwagoning is absolutely shameless, mate. It's disgusting. I think it's the lowest of the low. Think about that. What is the subject for today's podcast?
Well, we've just picked out the five controversial shirts that have been released throughout time.
God, I'll tell you what, mate. That is a brilliant idea. Well done, boss. You've done it again. What a guy. At Jakes.shirts Instagram. I'm
more impressed that you've memorized that, to be honest.
Hey, I know. It's in my contract with Big Pete.
You didn't have to get it tattooed on your arm, though.
I didn't know. It's I'll just have to. It's right.
Is that your arm?
Lasers. Yeah, it's in there.
It is your arm. It is your arm. Sorry.
There you go, yeah. It doesn't say something in Nordic. It actually does say Jake's Instagram profile.
Well, go on then. I'll let you kick off proceedings. I've got on the bandwagon, but a bit like I can't remember her name in Titanic. I'll never let go, Dan. You're coming on the band. What is her name in Titanic?
I believe it's Denise.
We'll go to the proper Brexit Titanic. Denise.
Jack. Oh, brilliant.
I'll never let go, Dan. Come on, get on the bandwagon with me. Come on.
All right, mate. Okay. So I'm going to go in with the Kit Manham favourite of all time. And it's on display behind me, watchers, and for listeners who can't understand it, it's Arsenal's Bruised Banana kit. When this shirt come out in 1990, I do remember the furore behind it. To be honest, it really was like quite a noticeable noise about just how bad it was. It was one of these really, even back then for garish patterns, it really took the biscuit for being garish, and it wasn't well liked at the time. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't very popular. Even I as a kid, I remember it being like, ugh, you know. But sort of, it did. I mean, look back now, it stood the test of time, hasn't it?
Yeah, is that one of those shirts that's just done a full 180 then? Like back then when it first released, it was a bit like, oh, what the fuck is that? And now it's like, please give me this. I'll pay £200 for it.
Yeah, basically, it just took a whole journey around, and yeah, I mean, since I'd probably even go early 2000s, even it was almost the God. Do you remember that kit? Yeah, the Bruce Banner. God, that's awful when it come out. And I reckon there's people who are about like 50 who genuinely really hate it. And anyone sort of my age who was a kid growing up, sort of like maybe like 44, like it might have been 10, 11 at the time, would have just grown up absolutely loving it. You got Ian Wright in it. And I think the whole sort of, I don't know, the whole furor about the design was just completely, it's just been washed away. I just think that people just now just is such a go-to pattern. But yeah, at the time, controversy just by the fact it was just so, some people just could, it was just so visually awful to a lot of people at the time. You know, you listen to radio presenters, you go on there and listen to people like, you know, Hawksby and Jacobs, a little bit older, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that was garish. You know, Andy Goldstein, who's nearly 50, he'll be like, oh, it was awful. So yeah, bit of a munter at the time, but maybe not controversial by, it wasn't controversial by, you know, it wasn't trying to symbolise anything.
Yeah,
but
politics or anything.
Yeah, there was no political element attached to it. It was just a case of it was fucking ugly.
When did it don the name Bruised Banana then? Is that straight from the get-go?
I think, yeah.
Because that's not like a very complimentary nickname at all. If you get like, if you peel a banana and it's bruised, you're like, that's getting fucking hoid in the bin.
Spot on. Yeah. I don't remember it not being called the Bruised Banana. I think everyone, even then, even if I said the words, do you remember that Arsenal kit that looked like the Bruised Banana? My dad go, yeah, I remember that. My dad's 75.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it does have that. I think the nickname stuck early on. You have to maybe speak to some goonies, but for me, it was like, I've never not known it's being called the Bruised Banana.
Yeah, well, when did it? 1990 it was out, wasn't it?
1990 to 93.
1990 to 93. That's like 6 to 3 years before I was born. But like that shirt to me is just, even that, I never saw it being worn or played in and stuff, and I think it's iconic.
Oh mate,
I can see why it is controversial as well, especially with like I think it's the yellow, isn't it? It's very in your face kind of.
Oh, definitely, mate. I mean, it's just around it now. It's got a lovely jacquard through it, and I don't. That's the one thing that gets lost on you when I'll go grab it off the rail and break it down for those watching on YouTube. But you do lose a bit of the touch of the actual jacquard that goes through it, because the pattern is so garish, but it's actually got this AFC pattern. I mean, you can see that just glimmering there.
Yeah.
It's like a set of vertical stripes set around, almost like a what's that? Almost like a diamond sort of effect with AFC written in the middle of it. This one's absolutely shagged. It's, well, not totally shagged, but the trefoil's had its chips on this one, and it's got a couple of pulls on it. But I'm not even the biggest fan of this kit. Do you know what I mean? I actually think I wish they'd made the JVC on it white with a red border, and the same with like the badges and stuff, so that they popped off. I feel the JVC's like really lost on it. That's my opinion. But yeah, there we go. I'd say, yeah, that's my first That's my first one, the controversial kits, but that's definitely turned the tide, and people now remember that as a great kit, definitely.
Shall we stick in the 90s for the next shirt then?
I reckon we should definitely stick in the 90s, mate. Absolutely, yeah. What have you got lined up for us?
It's got to be the big daddy of controversial shirts, hasn't it? The Fiorentina 1992-1993 away shirt.
Yes.
When I first saw that shirt, I'll be completely honest, I didn't see the issue of it until it was pointed out. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Mate, absolutely. What a crazy kit. Good pick though, mate. It is a very good pick. Weird how shirts get how they get through, but you know, who would have signed off on it? Have you ever seen the gates at, I think it's the Artemo Franchi, the stadium?
No, I haven't. I'll have a
And
little Google though.
there's some metalwork in there, and it's got this it actually has the swastika element in it, but I think the gates actually predate National Socialism. So I think it's something that's like reference to that.
So when the kit designer, because it's Lotto, isn't it? So they haven't, because Italy can sometimes unfortunately be known for that side of things. That hasn't been incorporated to it all. It's just pure coincidence, or it's trying to get that stadium aspect into it.
I think I'd have to double check the date of this gate detail, but it's something to do with the door. I swear it's something to do with the doors to the ground. So like, you know, where the actual like club offices are, and they've got this raw ironwork, which coincidentally is the shape that it's now a swastika. I mean, Mussolini was Europe's first fascist, so I think he came to power before Hitler. I'm pretty sure it was 27 or 29, something like that. So he does sort of predate that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's just how that went through and how they got signed off. Do you actually personally? I don't actually like the shirt. I've never really liked it.
No, I actually really do like the shirt. I like the white. I like how the 7-Up stands out in the white, and then I like how the pattern in a nice purple breaks off nicely into the upper chest and shoulders. I really do like it, to be fair. It's just a shame that it's got that swastika element to it. The collar is a matching collar and cuffs. It's actually a massive shame, because how long did they have it for? Did they ever wear it or not?
I've got a feeling they definitely work. There's pictures of like Batistuta running around in it. There's always like famous ones of him like celebrating a goal, or whatever, giving it the old machine guns, which is even more ironic. I'd be more worried if he was like, he went to the prone position and like, you know, belt fed an MG42 and started to like do 3-second bursts at a beach or something like that. That would be even more, you know, okay, mate, we all get it. You must all know, you know. But
he went into the crowd and got a large Hugo Boss trench coat out or something as a celebration.
When the team all come out like frog marching. Goose stepping out.
The team talk, the manager's just on the platform and they're all just up staring at him.
Yeah, I can't believe he grew attached for the But like I say, it's completely innocent, and you know, there was no malice in there at all. No one meant to have that sort of symbolism attached to the club. The fact away fans were penned in, they'd heard it up the week before. Fucking hell. It's just, even if I do get it. When you look at something, sometimes you just don't see it. But as soon as you, like you say, as soon as you know it's there, as soon as you see swastikas right on the front of that shirt, you're like, of course, come on, guys, fucking hell.
Yeah. It's definitely a shirt. If it was made nowadays, it wouldn't get to the production stage or release stage, would it? Not a chance.
No. The closest thing, this is how far we've come in terms of like, guys, make sure the shirt doesn't have any fucking symbols towards far right extremism, guys. Let's make sure. The closest thing I've seen to like a design flaw in a shirt, which was like So they just left on Brentford's third kit a couple of years ago. They had that neon yellow pink speckle going through the black on top of the black, and on one point of it, the speckles aligned in such a way that it looked like a teacup on a saucer, like with a little handle and everything. And it wasn't until they gave it to Brentford that the kit man, or I think the assistant manager at the time, went, "Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, the old look at that little teacup on this, the teacup kit, isn't it?" Or something like that. And basically, an Umbro were like, "What?" They went, "Oh shit, we've got to change it. Everyone's going to quick call it the teacup kit." And it was just that Brentford kit man spotted it when it just come through, and it was like, "Oh god, should we take it out?" And he was like, "No, leave it on, leave it on, leave it on." So I just left it, and that's it. So when you get that Brentford kit, look on the spots near between the badge and the neck, you'll see a little teacup. So that's the story I got told. But yeah.
Oh dear. Well, yeah. Well,
Hilarious.
at least it's not, drinking tea extremism. It's not as bad as the Fiorentina kit, I suppose. We're making progress.
I mean, you've got the Boxer Rebellion and a few things like that. So it could be some connotations to sort of like supporting Chinese tea picking or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. 122 years on, but
tailored by Umbro.
You can't. Oh, good. That's like a
that's
pun.
me done. That's me done for the whole episode now. Oh yeah.
And here's the year highlights. Thanks, guys, for tuning in throughout the year. Here's Jake. 1T pun. And that's it, because I ain't got any highlights. So, yeah, it's not too bad. Right then, mate. Now we've gone past the fascists in Italy. What was your next little highlight you wanted to bring out of the vault?
Well, I think you mentioned, because we've obviously gone back and forth to come up with some sort of list, and you mentioned Newcastle in yellow.
Yes, mate. Yeah. Which actually isn't as rare as you would have thought. So I remember when Newcastle got relegated, they went down to the Championship. I think this was 2009.
2009, 2010, yeah.
So they went down. Stephen Taylor, Andy Carroll. This is Andy Carroll's sort of breakthrough season.
Yeah.
And all the kids.
Steve Harper, people like that.
Oh yeah, definitely be in goal. Yeah, John Carver must have still been assistant, the perennial assistant. And they basically just launched their kits, and all of a sudden, Adidas decided to give Newcastle this yellow, buttercup yellow, with a sort of a gloss, and then matte jacquard set a stripe down through it, and it was really garish at the time. And I remember Geordies were like, "What is going on? This is shocking," and it was pretty bad, because they were sort of expecting, I don't know what sort of similar colours they do get, sort of like green and blue maybe, or something like that, or sort of like back to the classic navy and burgundy sort of hoop or stripe, yeah. And then they got given that absolute abomination. It was shocking at the time. I remember it just being so rubbish, and Newcastle fans were like, "Oh, this is really poor." But because they went up that year, during the whole course of the year, it got a little bit more kudos to it, because they're the team who hadn't had much luck for a few years. Do you know what I mean? Since Sir Bobby Robson had left the club, and then obviously later passed away, and the sort of Mike Ashley takeover, and then the relegation, and they hadn't had much to sing about, because they, just such a big slide down through. And then they had that incredible promotion year where they just, was it Chris Hughton was the manager there when he took them up?
Yeah, I think it would have been, wouldn't it?
And it was just annihilating. And it's one of them years where sometimes as a club, you wouldn't know this, mate, because you support Man United, but when you go down, sometimes it's quite nice, because what you actually end up doing is having a really good year where you win a shitload of games. You then, and it's just fantastic. Like the fit, you go and you enjoy and you watch your team. It's nice sometimes just go out and smash teams 3 or 4-0 every week. And Newcastle pretty much did that year. They're one of them clubs that is far too good. Whenever they go down, they're always far too good. But the kit itself, yellow, it's not like a new thing. I I mean, there's a really iconic Newcastle game when they beat Sunderland in the late 80s. I can't remember the goal scorer, but the guy scored like a really memorable Newcastle goal. I'm sure it was away at Sunderland, and it was a really big goal for the club. Oh, I'm sure it was Peter something. Geordies will put me right in the comments, especially Butters. But they had a yellow with a little bit of a green highlight shirt then, so it's not super rare. And I swear to God that back in the 70s and 80s, their change kit was like yellow and green and stuff. So put me right on that, but it wasn't that rare. But this yellow was just so different. It was just yellow, pure buttercup yellow. I remember out of all the releases that year, that was the one that was getting a lot of chat.
Yeah, like you say, it's garish, and oh, look at us, we've just been relegated from the Premier League. Oh, not just one tone yellow kit, two-tone yellow kit. Okay, here we go. And when I had a little look before, they obviously had in the early 90s had a yellow Umbro shirt with a hint of green in it. And then in the late 80s, it was it almost reminds me of like a West Brom shirt. It's like a yellow and green striped shirt. It's actually really nice with a white pinstripe going through the green stripe. It is actually really nice, but it gives me West Brom vibes.
Was that an Umbro kit as well? Was it an Admiral one that they had? The West Brom one?
Umbro.
Was Umbro as well? Yeah. It's just it wasn't that long ago. Well, not that long ago, long enough ago. So, but at the time, I think with the green, it's sort of okay. Yeah, that's the kit we had back then. But this was just pure yellow, and it was so weird.
Yeah,
it's like when they did the green kit. Is it this year they got it still, or is it last year they had a green kit?
Yeah, because people saying it's like the Saudi Arabian flag, weren't they?
Yeah, the Saudi kit, but that's probably. It's not as much. We almost expected it. It was a bit of a joke going, oh yeah, the away kit's gonna be a Saudi Arabia kit, and they were. And it was like, can you fucking believe this? So yeah, fucking mental. But yeah, it was a good kit, but it was controversial. I don't think it's. I think it won people over because of the performances on the pitch, but I still don't think it's ever regarded as one of the best kits. I think if you could get a chance to buy one, just get it. I know it didn't sell when it came out. It definitely didn't sell very well.
No, on Football Kit Archive it says worn by the likes of Andy Carroll, Alan Smith, Jeremy, Nicky Butt, Jose Enrique, and Joey Barton. So,
there we go.
Get that with a Joey Barton name set on the back. Go on.
Right, I've got a Joey Barton story, but I don't know if I can put it out there on public because it's literally like my mate told me it because he lived in the same block as him when we were at uni. His mate's mum and dad bought him and his brother this apartment. It's called 53 degrees north or 56 degrees north or 55 degrees north. That was it. 55 degrees north. It's a big roundabout in Newcastle. You go there. Underneath there's a couple of bars. They're always changing because they never stay on very long. I think like Capital Radio or Metro Radio, whatever, had a thing in there. Anyway, above there's this big apartment block, penthouses, all that shit, views across the city, and loads of the players always get them there when they move to Newcastle. It's like the club have apartments that the guys can then, and it's one of them ones, like the players will always be part of by the club in a place like that. And it's basically a story my mate told me about when he bumped into Joe Barton in the lift, and it only ever aims to reinforce the my current position on the man. So yeah, I won't put it out there. But
you can definitely tell me. You can definitely tell me this after we finish recording.
yeah, it's not.
Sorry, listeners and watchers.
Yeah, sorry, not to ruin you. DM me basically, because it's just like fucking hell, mate. All right, unsavory character. Right, mate. Let's not give that fucking twat any more fucking airtime. I'm
going to bleep his name out in every single time we've mentioned him.
Oh, maybe we should come up with a code word for him.
Yeah. Oh, it'd just be cunt, wouldn't it?
Cunt. Yep.
Cunt. Yeah. Massive, useless cunt. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Donald Trump play for Newcastle? No. But yeah, we have to come up with something good. Massive cunt.
Massive
MC.
cunt. MC.
Yeah. You heard what MC's been saying?
MCB. That's his name. MCB.
MCB. Brilliant.
He actually sounds
I'll
quite
take
cool now, though, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, that's true. Sounds a bit
Muckby. There we go.
lucky.
That's
B.
him. That's you in the mud. Muckby, yeah.
It rhymes with McFly as well, and I hate McFly. So yeah, right. It's good.
Does Muckby McFlea?
Which
McFlea. Oh, if you say it in a Geordie accent, it does rhyme. Muckby.
McFlea?
I'm off to see McFlea.
Didn't know they were Welsh.
We had the Geordie audience back then when we were slating Joey Barton and kind of giving some praise to that Newcastle kit. They've gone now. They've got completely gone.
They've had it. They've literally. That's it. So proud. Try to think people like I know Scousers don't like you doing their accent, or Irish people. They really don't like. I've never done an Irish accent around an Irish person, and then they thought it funny. It's like mega offensive. You only do it once. Oh,
I'm going to stick in the theme of these shirts. I'm going to stick in the Championship for my next one. It was your idea, but I'm stealing it.
You go for it, mate.
Cardiff City, 2014-15 red home shirt. What on that? I think they wore it the season after as well, didn't they? Oh, they wore it the season before, 13-14, and then the 14-15. The only season in the Premier League, and they didn't wear their actual colours.
And what's mad is this is a prime example of just stupid owners pushing an agenda on a club. Because red is it's Malaysian, isn't it? So the Malaysian owners come in. Red is like the lucky colour in Malaysia. So they just went, well, we'll make the kit red, so we're lucky. Admittedly, they won the league or got promoted anyway, didn't they? But still, it's like, oh, are you kidding me? You know, imagine if United made their kits blue, home kits blue.
It's like going back to Newcastle. It's like Newcastle playing in red and white. It's just what. It's obviously like we touched upon it a few times on this. Your away shirts and first shirts sometimes flirt with your rivals' colours, but to completely change your home shirt colours is just absolutely. They're called the Bluebirds for a reason. Oh no, we'll just make them red. Make the badge red as well, actually.
Yeah, I think it's because I know the other thing. There's angle was as well that the Welsh Dragon is red. We're the Club of Wales. Blah blah blah. But on top of that, Cardiff have loads of derbies. Cardiff have derbies with basically anyone they're playing that week. But fuck me, they're one group of fans that just want to fight people all the time. But they do hate Swansea, obviously, the South Wales derby, which is a very fierce derby and very entertaining. Yeah. But one of their other big rivalries is Bristol City. Obviously, Bristol City playing red.
Yeah. Red as well.
So it's sort of like you've got this situation where just there's no thought at all, and it's a big warning for foreign owners. But the outcry of it was big as well. The public opinion against this was big. It wasn't just it's all right, don't worry about it. It was.
Well, he's changing like a whole club's identity. When I've had it up on Football Kit Archive, they've changed the badge as well. Like it's not like you've touched upon the Red Dragon. That's now the main feature of the badge. The little bluebirds just below it, but they've completely changed the club's identity just for because the owner said so. It's just absolute. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
Well, I mean,
since
on the badge, because they put the Welsh Dragon like right at the top, big red dragon, and then they literally just out of like just sheer respect, they put the blue bird just underneath. Whereas like now it's got the bluebirds back in now. Some people have seen sense. The badge is relatively back to normal, and they've got the little tiny Welsh Dragon just in the logo.
Yeah.
But admittedly, their fortunes have faded away since the red kit's gone. So,
Yeah, he might have had a point actually, really, mightn't he?
Maybe he was right all along.
Have they
No,
like?
no.
I'm just having a little look. I don't think they flirted with the idea of red. Oh no, they have. It's
They've
2016,
got away
17.
kits, haven't they?
Yeah, 2015, 16 in red. Yeah. See, that's okay because it's an away kit. It's not. You can kind of flirt with the idea there in your away and third kits, but to completely change a club's identity. But it did work. So
Yeah. I think it's, okay, one instance of it is Parma. So Parma used to have a gigantic black cross, white background, and slowly that's sort of traded into a little bit with like a blue and yellow detail going through the shirt, and then it's slowly become more, and then all of a sudden, Lotto come in and just go, yeah, we're just gonna make you into yellow and blue hoops. So Parma just become this yellow. They didn't change the badge though. Parma's always had the same crest, black and yellow,
yeah.
black and red, black cross on a white background. The Parma, the other little bit of detail to the side of it. Just sort of for those watching, I was just fondling my nipple where a badge may or may not be. And that was quite a shock one. I have to ask some Parma fans. How did you feel when they changed the colours? How do you think that was? But that's probably one of the other sort of shock changes that I can think of a club, of a complete visual identity of a team. But I mean, for Cardiff to do that was crazy. That really was. It's just short-sightedness, isn't it? I mean,
For them to be like their only season in the Premier League in like not their actual colour they're known to play in as well must be like awful for the fans as well. Like must be like when they like if they ever do dare watch the highlights back from that season. I don't know if they might have had some memorable like results, might have taken a few points off some teams they didn't expect to. But they must be like, oh, who's that team? This in Cardiff in red. No, like showing like the kids or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's not Cardiff, is it? And then you have to explain this whole shit show of a story of why they are in red.
mate, if you go to Pompey and in 1979, so if you're on there now, I think 78, 79. I'm pretty sure it was Umbro changed Pompey's home kit to white with a blue stripe going through the badge. It might have been two blue stripes going through the badge, and that was our home kit that year. Would have been mid to late 70s, early
Do you know what's
80s.
funny? On old football shirts, it goes 1976 to 1978, and then it skips to 1980. So Portsmouth fans are obviously refusing to submit pictures of it. No, that shirt didn't exist.
Did not happen. 73 to 76. Sorry, mate, wrong year. I was giving
It's
you that.
all right. It's all right. Oh yeah. Here it is. It's not like an actual proper picture of the shirt, but it's like white. The badge is on the right hand side, and then the stripes going up on the left.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that looks really odd.
Here for viewers is a picture of Norman Piper, the club's record goal scorer, and that's the kit. But it didn't just hang around, and I think it's just them early days of people like dicking around with kits and what things could look like. And I'd say from a Pompey point of view, it does sort of get swept under the rug a little bit. Yeah, I mean that's again, but that kit pretty much got left alone. It got put to one side. No one really gives a shit about it. It was almost like, right, that's done with. Bear in mind the last year we had that kit, Southampton won the FA Cup, the only cup they've ever won, and the person who scored the goal was from Portsmouth. So we have to do everything for him. And it was almost like we went right back to blue. Not having this happen again.
No, now.
We were bad, mate. We were bottom of the football pyramid. So we was Div 4. And it took us a while, and we ended up going back up through the leagues as we are now. But hopefully. But yeah, that was a bad kit.
Do you want to do the fifth and final shirt?
Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, so I'm going to go with what I would say is widely been regarded as probably the worst. A lot of people would say this is the worst kit of all time. It probably is. Even when it come out, it was like, why is this even happening? It's still for me now. I actually hate the template, but I know some people go mad for it. But I think it's disgusting, and it is the Coventry City 1978-81 away or third kit, is it?
The away shirt, yeah.
Away.
Probably the third shirt as the years went by.
Yeah, definitely known as the third, Irish third. And yeah, it's that brown kit, all brown with like a white stripe detail, just going down like that. The two lines scoop inside from just under the armpit down, but brown. Bear in mind the pitches back then would have been pretty awful as well. So maybe it's to cut down the washing bill. But Christ, it was ugly as sin. Ugly as sin.
Is that like the Newcastle shirt? Then it's not any political reason or anything like that. It's just controversial because it's not to hit the nail on the head.
So
A shit shirt.
basically, it's almost so bad now that it's actually, if you to buy one, it's stupidly expensive. I've got a feeling that even just any shirt of it, like to any spec sort of thing, you're looking at £1,000 plus. They're so. I'm pretty sure at the time the fans hated it, and there was the Admiral documentary, because it's made by Admiral, and the documentary from it. They did talk about it, and they spoke to the designer at Admiral, and she said, "Well, we had no real rule, but we had no real do this, do that, so we really just did whatever we wanted." And it all started with Leeds. Leeds was like one of the first teams to get this sort of designed kit. Well, you have to chucked it there, mate. Can't help it, can you? In a decade where Leeds were a much better club than Man United,
Yeah.
by a long way. And yeah, the designer said we had no real rule, but we just did what we wanted, and that was it. And yeah, but I don't think anyone goes, "Oh, that shirt's amazing, it's my favourite." No one. I don't think anyone could ever say it's their favourite shirt of all time. Even like maybe a kit collector who goes, "Yeah, it's my favourite because it's the hardest one to find," whatever. But you can never say, "Oh, I think it's beautiful." That's surely not. It's absolutely vulgar. Like, it's not even a nice brown. It's not even anything. It's just awful.
Look at the picture I'm looking at now. I wouldn't say it's the worst shirt of all time. I can see why. I can see why it is like controversial, though. It is brown is of an odd color. Maybe not brown. Maybe not. Oh, let's put them on actually. No, like that brown can work, but I can see what you mean. That shade, tone of brown, whatever you want to say. Yeah, it's a bit odd.
It's just bad. There's no like reference. There's no like relevance to them having a brown kit. It's just they thought, fuck it, let's just do that. Looks nice. And they're almost like, let's bring the shirt. Like, they had loads of templates. Oh, let's just try this color. It's different to their home kit, so no one's going to play in brown. Fair play, but I mean, it is awful. It's truly awful. But they are so sought after by your old school kit heads. You guys who collect like your stupid expensive. Yeah, them ones. I just don't know. Like, some people, like, it is like a memory for a lot of people, and it is a superly sought after rare kit, like stupidly rare. But God, it's awful.
What colour best represents Coventry? Brown. Yeah.
Dirt colour, please.
What would you say then, out of the 5 we've done, is the most controversial then?
Out of the ones we've done, I've got to say, as much as putting a swastika on a major, well, admittedly, I think they got relegated that year, Fiorentina. But from like completely and utterly decimating the club's heritage, as well as the shirt, I think it's got to be as bad as the swastika one was. The design, although I don't like it, was a good design. The Cardiff City kit has to be the most controversial kit because that is completely blatantly spitting in the face and destroying all of the history regarding, like, just disregarding any club heritage, any of the club's identity, because you just the want and will and sheer fact that you've turned up with a load of money, bought the club, and you will put it in the image you want and do not care. Completely disregarding the fans, the history, any sort of heritage, any respect for the club. I think for me, it's the Cardiff one because it's just disgusting. Out of all the most controversial kits, that is the worst. And they stuck with it. He stuck to his guns. Was it two or 3 seasons? I know it was definitely 2.
One season in the Championship, got promoted. That one season in the Premier League, back to the Championship, wore it again, and then after that, it was finito for it.
Yeah, done.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you. I think if the Fiorentina thing was pure coincidence, yes, it's controversial, but it's not been done to be damaging or anything. And if it's got that link in with something to do with the stadium, then it's kind of an actual nice design. It's just a horrible coincidence. But like we've said, to take the whole identity of a club away, even change it. I completely forgot to change the badge as well, just for that shirt, just for those shirts. Yeah, those Cardiff shirts, just horrendous. They're not even nice either. Not even like a nice go at it. They're horrendous.
Yep, it's awful. I mean, sort of close to sort of taking the club's identity and completely gutting the whole ideal of a club. You probably could also say, MK Dons when they took Wimbledon out of, well, it's just Wimbledon. Milton Keynes decided to steal a club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's, and obviously they changed the colours to whatever they wanted. They didn't try to behave like they were sticking with it. They just couldn't be bothered to have to build a team up from scratch. They just did that. But I think the Cardiff one for me is it. Yeah. Have you got any more honourable mentions on our list that we want to chuck out?
Yeah, I've got a quick few. I'll rattle off you. I've got a list here. 2019-20, I think this is worn in one game only. The Huddersfield Paddy Power shirt. Controversial just because it's obviously just a marketing ploy. It worked very well, to be fair, but
it worked brilliantly.
They actually got in controversy as well for Huddersfield as well, so adds that little element to it.
Yeah, it was quite good as well, that, because Paddy Power did a thing where they said, well, don't worry, we're not going to put, if we sponsor a team that year, we're not going to put our branding on the shirt at all. So I think they sponsored 2 or 3 clubs that year, definitely in Scotland, and they just said, no, we're not going to put the sponsor on the shirt. And that's where Paddy Power are just brilliant. They just, marketing
geniuses, really, aren't they? Yeah.
Because they caused the controversy. Everyone knew that year Huddersfield was Paddy Power, and it was just brilliant, genius. One game, massive. Was it 50 grand? They fined them for it. And they broke so many rules of it, just knowing what was going to happen. Brilliant, absolute genius. So yeah, very controversial, and a lot of people took it seriously. For ages that they didn't. Yeah, it's not too bad. Another kit, I know it's sort of semi on our list at the minute, but a grey kit in particular, the Euro 96 away kit from England. I remember when that come out, Christ, it was people like, what is it? It's grey, it's not grey, what's going on? That caught so much flack. And I'll tell you what, mate, it's only in the last 5 to 10 years, probably 10 years, that's even come up towards respectability. I'm not even shitting you. Like, it's still a bit of a joke. Everyone my age, that awful kit, Southgate, Gazza missing it with his big toe. All of those memories just all come off the back of that. Just such a big down point as well. The grey kit, losing the semi-final the way we did. just that shirt always took pelters, but it's only really just come back into love
Yeah.
with a sort of a generation discovering it without that overbearing sense of gutting and shame and resentment.
Yeah, so it got off to a bad start. It wasn't popular to start off with, and then it's tied in with that semi-final defeat. Yeah, it's not for people who were around that time, like old enough to know what's going on or to remember it as clear as day. I can see why it's controversial to a few people. Another grey shirt from that era, that season, the United 95-96 away, grey shirt. Obviously, massively controversial at a certain place in a certain time in Southampton. So
I know Fergie thrown it under the bus, really, wasn't it? The master distractor. But I know the players didn't like it either, did they?
no. That's another one though. That's like had like maybe a bit like the bruised banana. It was not very popular, but as like time's gone on, people have kind of. I think a lot of United fans have done a bit of 180 on that away shirt, that 95-96, and kind of gone, oh, actually, do you remember that game against Southampton? It's had its moment, kind of thing.
It's just such an iconic memory. But yeah, totally pelts. I do remember it even being out and people were like, oh, I remember a kid in our school, total prick named Craig Slack. He's never going to listen to it, but he's a cunt. And he had one, and I remember he wore it to a birthday party. But, out of all the people we were in school with, he was like the only fucking Man United fan.
There's no correlation between him being a massive cunt and a United fan there, by the way.
No,
People.
it just wasn't that. Just was a big cunt, and is probably a big cunt still.
Shout out Craig Slack.
Yeah, they are, mate. And just remember it was never that great, but it's definitely gotten better with age. Do you know how many times United wore that kit?
Oof, it probably wasn't many times after that Southampton game. I wouldn't be able to tell you now.
Might have to do a bit of Googling on that. Let us know in the comments, as they say. Like and subscribe, hashtag.
Have you got any more shirts for us?
Oh, mate, let's have a little think. We had a couple of ones we chucked out. Obviously, stuff like Cameroon with the vest. It's a bit predictable. We don't want to maybe delve into that too much. I think everyone knows the story. Cameroon decided to wear a vest. FIFA said no. Cameroon then decided to do a onesie. FIFA said no.
There's rumors circulating actually for shirts versus boots for Cameroon Vest 2002. Might be making an appearance in one of the teams.
Look, I can't confirm or deny that we are running around in onesies all day.
Onesies versus vests.
No. I've actually seen one of those Cameroons in the flesh, and it was at the CFS do 2021, and Tatty Dale, the other guy from CFS, is just chatting to him today, and is I think his missus. I think at the time I don't know if they're still together. Maybe they are. I don't know. Anyway, she like he had her wearing it around. It's quite funny.
I actually think it's really. I actually like them. I think they look great on the players when they wore them.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where Puma just did what they wanted. It was like, well,
Yeah,
let's get it about us. We know we're going to get banned. So Ajax, Three Little Birds, isn't it? We know it's going to get banned, so just do it anyway and just drum up some excitement. England this time around, doing the whole thing, letting the whole cross, nonsense go out. I don't know if you noticed as well that thing with that cross is the picture of the neck collar. Do you notice that didn't actually get dropped straight away? Did you notice that?
Yeah,
that They'd released all the other details on the shirt, and then it was like, we also got this bit on the shirt. Do you notice that? It never felt like
I noticed that when people were quote tweeting, it was a separate tweet about the collar. It was nothing to do with like an actual picture of the shirt. It was a separate tweet about the collar. They knew it. They knew it. Knew it was going to happen.
They knew it was going to rile people. They knew the color tones would do it, even though it's fine and there's nothing to do with it, and they just let it go. And it's just this what fucks me off because I don't personally. Umbro would never have done that. Do you know what I mean? They'd never have put it out without any sort of explanation. Whereas Nike don't give a fuck. Big American multinational. They've just stolen Germans' kits from Adidas for fuck's sake. You know, so they've taken Umbro from England, they've taken Adidas from Germany, they've taken Adidas have taken Diadora from rather they've taken Adidas out of they take any form of Italian connection out of Italy, but
Yeah.
Nike remember took Italy away from Diadora. So slowly but surely, Nike come in and just asset strip all of the big countries away. I think they really missed out in the World Cup when Messi won the World Cup and France lost that final. I reckon they were just like, that was almost their revenge. I think it was their corporate revenge on losing the World Cup final. They went, at all costs, we just take Germany now. We take they've taken our big moment. They thought it was going to be more Mbappe shirts galore, and Messi won the World Cup. Big fairy tale, probably one of the biggest selling. It must have been the biggest selling shirt of 22 and 23.
Oh, easily.
Surely the Argentina home kit, and they must have just gone. In classic Nike fuck you style, we are going to take your identity shirt,
We're going to get you, Germany. You didn't do very well at the World Cup. Forget France. We're going for you.
Yeah.
Your fault.
Absolutely. There's no other reason. It's one of the highest. And I'm sure the Germany Adidas deal is the biggest international sponsorship. It might be but I was sure it was Germany.
You think of Germany shirts, you think of Adidas, you think of Adidas national team shirts, you think of Germany. It's going to be weird. But seeing this, like the heat ready specs of their international shirts this year, with all like the plastered shit on, not even heat pressed or embroidered. It's like stickers. It looks odd. So maybe the Germany move won't be as bad as maybe it would have been a few years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't rate any of the Adidas kits. I've looked at them all.
No.
I thought I liked the Argentina, and now I've seen them in play, and I hate all of them. Generally, I think they're all rubbish. The best thing going is the goalkeeper kits. That crazy template they've come up with.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were watching our show a couple of weeks ago and rushed it out. But I honestly think they're just awful. So yeah, that's it. Any more from you, mate? Any more controversial?
Well, coincidentally, since we've just done a little segment on Nike, I'm going to finish on a Nike shirt, the China Dragon shirt from 2018. A bit like the Cameroon, probably a bit of an easy, lazy one to go for, but it got banned, so it's controversial, isn't it?
Anything that gets banned is controversial, mate.
But yeah,
Argentina '95, where the AFA went, take that black stripe out. And then Adidas just replaced it with a shirt full of black piping. That went well.
Yeah, like the Coventry shirt, it's the price of one of those is ridiculous. Not as close, nowhere near as close, but I think north of 200 quid for a shirt that was 6 years old. That's ridiculous, really, isn't it? That wasn't worn as well.
It's not even good.
No, I like
in my opinion.
I like the like the heritage thing with the dragon. I do like that. I like it when national kits do that. Yeah. But it's not. I wouldn't pay if it wasn't banned. It wouldn't be 200 quid. Let's be honest.
No, definitely.
That's like pumped the value up by like 100%.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. I agree. I think it just needs that to do it. That's it, mate. Mate, anything else you want to throw across my way, or you ready to call it quits?
I'm ready to call it quits, but obviously, before we do end, if you want to plug anything, shout yourself out, anything.
Well, obviously, I'm going to say it again as usual. Shirts Boots for 18th of May, Liverpool, Bootle FC, 11 a.m. doors open. We've got a football fair in there. 2 p.m. kickoff, and then we've got post-match awards and raffles and prizes and nonsense like that going on. So plenty going on there all day. And also I'm on the Football Coliseum, which is the reimagining or the re-giving to you lot of the weekly Wednesday, which is me and 343 Will, and doing our regular football absolute nonsense. So check that out on YouTube and Spotify. So that's live every Wednesday. So
love that.
It's good. Please get in the comments on that, please, Jake. I'd like to see your little bits and your comments.
And the comments, yeah.
What about you, mate? What you got to? What you blog?
Just to follow, if you're not already, Shirts and Time Pod on all social media, and definitely head over to YouTube, because if you're watching this, or sorry, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, what shirt they talk about, it's all on YouTube now with an overlay of the shirt. Dan or myself will try our best to show off the shirt, but I will do an overlay of the actual shirt and try putting the little bits that we are talking about specifically for yourselves. But yeah, that's about it for me, mate.
Mate, I love it. Thanks very much for having us on. Look forward to next week's show. We don't know what the subject's going to be because we don't talk about it, but I'm sure it's going to be unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, unbelievable. I mean, we won't decide it like 2 days before, because that's just not us. We'll have it all very well scheduled, and we just go from better to better.
Of course.